once again live with you guys here. Naturally, of course, but it doesn't matter to me if you're on a GLP-1 or whatever else. Do you, sister? Like, we all have a different path, right? And I only mention that just because I feel like I'm watching all this, seeing all this weight loss transformation stuff, and there's like a lot of people declaring one way or the other and a lot of shame about it. And everything I do is through transforming at an identity level. And it really doesn't fucking matter, right? Like the deeper work, the work you do to change who I want to become it doesn't matter the method or the path as much as what I'm experiencing in my world, right? And creating this world beyond my wildest dreams. And what does that look like? So I wanted to talk about the scale a little bit today and what happens when the scale isn't moving, and how you mentally, emotionally stay in the game, right? Because that's all it takes is like, the path forward, the path to your goal is just failing again over and over again. And this is why so much of what I've created and spent like the last 8 years developing as I'm helping and guiding others has been to really figure out just how to keep people on the ride. Because what I've found is your journey takes you everywhere. I'm going to try to prop this up here. Like, you're probably not going to have mold toxicity and all kinds of shit in your body like I do. And maybe you do, and you need to go on that mission yourself and seek it out. But these are the things I think that are different on everybody's quest. And this is why like one diet doesn't work for somebody else. I just saw Dr. Mindy Pelz, you guys, on, it was one of her YouTube videos. And I went through her whole program, Fast Like a Girl course. I found fasting like after I had lost 120 pounds, and I was just on this journey to really understand at a cellular level and clean my body out and heal. And so I went through her certification course, and I just even saw her post about how she spent a whole year not fasting and really just loving and listening to her body. And yet we know all the benefits when you get in autophagy and all of this, but everything is so nuanced and so different depending where you are in your journey with your health. For those of us like midlife women, for where we are in like our perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, like, oh my God, right? If hormones, you got to investigate that. It just adds a whole nother level to what we have to look at and investigate. And so this year for me has really been a journey of I'm cleansing from like fucking 8 different kinds of mold toxicity. Like it's no joke, you guys, and chemicals, like it's everywhere. Like one thing I've learned this year is to really prioritize eating organic food, getting toxic metals out of my kitchen. And especially us women, as we get older, did you guys know, like through your menstrual cycle that our bodies eliminate toxins and chemicals and things like that. So when you stop menstruating, you lose a way that you are getting these chemicals out of your body. And I was like, oh my God, that made so much sense. Because as I've aged, as I went through menopause and stopped having that release, it has really like eczema flared, weight gain, like experiencing all these things in my life because of this toxic load in my body. My ex-girlfriend left me for this really hot guy, and I can't look at photos of him. He's gorgeous. Well, maybe you're switching teams, Jer. I don't know what to tell you, right? Here's what they tell you about breakups. Like when you break up with people, delete all the photos, unfollow them. Like don't put that shit in your brain, right? Manifest yourself another girlfriend or boyfriend in this case, whatever it may be. No judgment, buddy. Like, but I think it might speak that you're looking at the pictures of him and not her, right? Like maybe you go with that. Maybe this was what the universe put you in your path to find your true calling. You know what I mean? Hey guys, where are you guys from? Drop in the chat. I'm currently in Arizona and at my daughter's house for a couple more weeks. And then I head back to Hawaii for my youngest senior year. That's right, I've got a senior. Australia, listen, Jesse, I have a whole Australian posse. I call them my Aussie posse in my group. It's so funny. And get this, 4 of them 4 of them are from South Africa. Like this is, I have like 450 women in my midlife badassery community, and like when we're in a room together, there's that, like, I don't know, like 20 people will make a live call or something, and 4 of them are South Africans living in Australia. I'm like, how do I just target that specific market? That's like really funny, right? It's very specific. So I came home early from a trip and found them in my bed. Okay. Okay, chair. Maybe I'm not gonna repeat that. Like maybe you can dial down the little innuendos a little bit on my midlife weight loss channel. Like I bet there's a good channel to go talk a bunch of smut. But listen, we're all on board with you swapping teams if that's what you want to do. We are open here. We respect your choices. Have some fun with it. Okay. So anyhow, you guys, so just having a joke. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, let's joke about something relevant. And that's okay if you don't want to. I got plenty to talk to on my own over here. So this week, you guys, I've been weighing in not on camera because it's late here right now. Back in Hawaii, it's 3 hours earlier, and I usually weigh in live. So I was down half a pound this week, and it's still moving in the right direction, but I'm 10 pounds off my goal for the quarter. And I just wanted to talk about this with my women on the weight loss journey with me, right? And having a lot of fun in in my Me First group right now. We've got some like kind of a new little weight loss cohort going, and I'm always like, I'm the guide on the ride, right? Like creating these ways we have transformation in as many moments throughout our day as we can as we're becoming this next version of ourselves. And one of the things that gets like can be fuck us up in our minds, for lack of a better term, right, is like what you make the data mean about you. And in this case, on the scale, but this could apply to any goal you guys have. What about what goals do you guys have? How about we switch to that instead of like making like racial slurs on my channel, right? Like, why don't we hear about what goals? Do you have goals in life other than making racial slurs? I'd love to hear about them, right? So why don't you drop your goals in the comments? We're going to take trolling to the next level. You're going to be able to troll and actually get your goals done in the same live. Does that sound fun, you guys? Let's go. I'm your life coach. You keep saying you're just having a joke, which sounds like your whole wording. Are you a bot? Like, you don't even sound like a real person, right? Like, did someone invent this bot to make these jokes? I'm getting back to the scale. You are not going to derail me unless you drop a goal in the comments. I want to see your goal. So on the weight loss journey, like when we're looking at the scale, you guys, this is where the gold is, because it gives you just feedback, right? Like when I coach someone that doesn't want to get that daily feedback on the scale, I think you just lose a big data point about what worked for your body the day before, a couple days before. It just gives you feedback, right? And there's also studies that show that people that weigh daily are 35% more likely to keep the weight off. And you know why that is? Because they're looking every day. And I have to say, through like my weight regain journey, if I look back over those couple of years, I wasn't weighing as regularly as I once had, right? I was still doing everything live. So I would still do that, like still weigh in like at least once a week, but that feedback a little more frequently was really a game changer for me on my journey, because I started to see really quickly, oh, potatoes don't serve me, oh, this doesn't serve me, right? Like just having that feedback and letting it be data. But also, when you can't just let it be data, why are you letting some number on a scale define who you are? Why would you let the number in your bank account define who you are, right? Why would you let, I can't think of a relationship measurement, but like the amount of hugs you get, I don't know, right? My goal is to stop trolling people. Okay, all right, Jesse, let's take your goal. Like, let's set a goal for you to stop trolling people on YouTube Lives. Okay, what is this? How many a week are you going to allow yourself? Because I think to go cold turkey can be a little hard for people, right? So let's decide how many trollings you're going to allow yourself. Like, is this how often during the day do you do this? What does this look like? What's your current status and where do you want to go with it? Maybe you want to create your own. Do you do your own YouTube lives or you just like watching other people? Like maybe you step into the driver's seat and start really sharing your thoughts and ideas, whatever they might be, right? And you start putting them out there and then you find your people. That's game changing shit right there, right? It's turned into a 24-hour job. Yeah, I imagine that could. You get dopamine hits from it, right? Like, how can you step away from needing that interaction and finding what you need right within yourself? I think this is something we see so often now is that we see all of these we just have so much input, right? We have things coming at us from everywhere, right? And like what you decide you want your life to be like, you need space to process your own shit, right? Like if you're constantly taking everyone else's stuff, who are you becoming? Right? And to like just give yourself, this is why I run quarterly workshops. And no, I'm sorry, man, you're not invited. But that would also cost money. So, but I run these quarterly workshops where we like really sit and dream and think and plot and plan. And I think the most powerful thing about that is most people have the best intentions. We really do, but the stats are we spend more time planning a vacation than we do for our lives and who we want to become. So if you can schedule yourself at least every quarter to sit down and look at your goals and where am I going? So just like the scale, you can readjust, right? So as I was looking at my goals for this quarter and where I am for July, I'm 10 pounds away from the goal I set. I'm not mad at it though. I'm going to take it down another 10 pounds this quarter, right? By the end of the year, I'm going to be down 50 to 60 pounds. Not mad at that, right? I think another problem is that we want it now, right? And we don't want it without changing who we are, like without changing how we show up in the world, because every goal takes a transformation of some sort, you know? Jesse. Oh, geez. Okay, who else has joined us here? I want to hear about your goals in the chat. Do I have any midlife women on the ride with me? Any of you popping in right now? So I was down on the scale a half a pound, but I'm 10 pounds behind my goal for the quarter. So here's a couple of things that can happen with your brain with goals, right? You can be like, oh my God, look, I'm so far off my goal. I'm never going to do this. Look, I fucked up all over. You can be like, holy shit, I lost 10 pounds, right? Like, hell yeah, let's go. Now, which one do you think is going to get you to the goal? But we have a tendency to hedge our bets, right? Like, oh, like just waiting for that shoe to drop. I was talking to a woman in my group yesterday, and she was like, there's kind of that still in her brain because we've spent our whole lives trying to lose weight. And it's like, but just wait until that shoe drops, right? And I'm going to speak about this coming from a place after regain, after I completely changed my life at a transformational level. And here's what happened, you guys. So I set off on my little heroine's journey, right? And I lost 120 pounds through meditation and life coaching and leading and creating this life that I just like friggin' was loving. And at some point, I started to get to a point where I know that I was getting to another level where I felt comfortable in my body. And I started to get really sick. And also I was getting called back to go be with my daughter in Hawaii. We had these big RV adventures for a while. And then eventually, she couldn't get away as much. High school happened. So I'm like, I need to go back to Hawaii. So when I moved back there, everything changed, right? My entire environment. I was living with people that I didn't control the fridge anymore or the routines, my workplace. I decided to go back to a job. And all of these things, at first I was still that person, right? I had built these new pathways where I meditated and, just ate really clean. I feel so good when like gluten and sugar's out of my body, but I was still getting flare-ups and I couldn't understand what was going on. Then I was getting frustrated, didn't even know what to eat. And gradually, I think just out of frustration, I started to put weight back on, not knowing at this point that I had like all of this toxic load in environments I was in over there was making it even worse, right? So it set me off though, you guys. Even though I'm gaining weight, but I'm still doing my shit. I'm still dreaming big. What can I do? How do I navigate the path? Because one thing I know, well, now failure, like not getting to that goal isn't an option. I will fail over and over again. And the faster I fail over and over again, the quicker I get to that goal. So bring it on. Let me keep trying stuff and giving it a fair chance, right? And so I ended up getting eventually a naturopath because my doctor couldn't help me and did all the tests and found out all this toxic shit and started the detox process, which happened like late last year. So in that process though, I was like also there was some smushing of my soul being back in corporate America and being like shoved in the little box and not living my life and living my dream, which is fucking around with all of you here on YouTube, like just having fun hanging out on a Friday morning, right? Like that is just fun, helping other women like make the scale data, start to dream beyond what they thought was possible and start to believe again that this could be really possible. And here's the path and here's the tools. And the tricky part about that, you guys, is the tools can be different for everybody, right? So I kind of built this foundation of tools that I think hold the space for you to investigate your path. And then we all are investigating together because your journey isn't going to look like my journey, right? Even like with all the macro counting calories, listen, I can't eat half the foods you would be sharing with me, right? Like that involves me getting like full labs, like they have to understand inflammation, eczema, like all of this stuff that was going on in my body that takes like, a lot of the women I work with now are like they're getting those blood works, they're getting the gut health tests, they're like doing those things, and I'm not doing those, right? Like my role is to be on the ride with you as we investigate and give you the framework to try all this shit, to really regulate our nervous systems so that I did a podcast, last week's podcast, you guys. I should link that. I don't know how to do that. I got to figure that out. But follow my page, and then you can like go look at that when we get off this. But one of the things about motivation, we think we're missing this get up and get it feel. And I think there's some human design element to that, like us having an active root or an open root and like where motivation comes from within you and all of that, but it gets deep, right? But the true essence of motivation, like motivation isn't something you like go out and get, right? It's not something that comes from outside of you. It comes from being in a space where you can act, right? Like motivation is us feeling like we can act. So if you don't first regulate your nervous system, you're never getting to the motivation, right? Because you're in fight or flight. So this is just critical. Like if you can put yourself, I'm calling them transformation chambers. You guys like that, right? That's fun. So if I like, for example, I don't want to get up in the morning, and I can start to put myself in the transformation chamber, and I use EFT tapping because it neutralizes your amygdala. It's taking you out of fight or flight. And you might not feel like, oh, I'm not in fight or flight when I wake up, Addie. I just want to keep sleeping. Your brain is just trying to keep you safe. It doesn't want you to have the pain of getting out of bed and rolling to the yoga mat. It wants you to stay all cuddled in there, right? So in essence, it's trying to keep you safe. That's your survival brain. Right? Even if it might not feel like stress in your body, right? There's different levels. And we are all walking around with so much chronic stress, like figuring out the methods that work for you. But if you could do this simple thing, I want to leave you guys with this one simple thing today. and put yourself in this transformation chamber every day, right? Like, think of a moment throughout your day when it usually goes to shit. And it might be, let's just use getting up in the morning, because this is a big one for a lot of people, right? And mind you, once you get your phone out of your bed, so you're not in a doomsday scroll before you even roll out of bed, right? Let's say you wake up, the alarm goes off, and you had intended to do yoga or meditate or whatever before you go to work. And so, but your brain is like, oh, but we could just stay in here. We could start tomorrow. Why do I want to do it today? You know, all the things, you guys. Drop in the comments what yours say. Only women. Why only women? Because we got a lot of stuff to talk about, Jessie. Like, we got a lot of hormonal shit. And it's also, like, typically midlife women over 35. And I feel like you're a dude that is, like, 20 or under. Like, you're a teenager. Some of these live streams are pretty wild, though. Do your shit. All right, whatever, bro. Okay, so you're wanting to get motivated to get out of bed in the morning, okay? So you see your brain saying, trying to keep you safe, trying to keep you tucked under the covers, like whatever that might look like, right? And so you're just gonna start, I really don't want to get up right now. That friggin' sucks to get up. I don't want to. Ugh. Oh, that really sucks. I'm just going to sleep. I'm just going to turn back over. I'm just going to let it be. And you just like keep hitting these meridian points on your body, right? And you can look up EFT tapping. I've got some stuff here on the channel. It's not what I do like for, like, it's a piece of a technique I'm using, right? To help people regulate through this process. So you wake up, you see, that this is a trigger point for you. You're seeing the patterns now, right? You're starting to see where your old primitive brain is taking over and trying to keep you safe and keeping you here and not get to the new badass self, right? So you see this and you can start to neutralize what is going on in your brain to get to your smart brain. You can't even access your CEO brain or your brain that decided you were going to get up and go walk or run or go to the gym is not online in the morning. No, unless you've already conditioned her, not online. You got to like get your CEO brain online. Right? So you're like going to be like, oh boy, I know I said I was going to get up, but I just am not gonna. We can start over tomorrow, but I'm always saying I'm going to start over. I'm such a failure. This sucks, right? And you just take yourself through it. But what if I just stay in the moment? But what if I just get up? And eventually you're tapping yourself into getting out of bed because you're accessing your prefrontal cortex or your smart brain, right? So you go from fight or flight, survival, I want to stay cuddled in. And this is a great example, you guys, because I think a lot of times we think of fight or flight like I'm really stressed out about something. But it's not. Like, your brain is operating to keep you safe all the time. It had to keep us safe to survive, right? All the tigers outside, all that shit, right? Like, we don't have that going on anymore, but our brains constantly program to watch how to help you survive. And it's also negativity bias, right? It wants to protect you from even being judged about things. Like, so much about the brain. My God. Okay, I don't even know how or why I got in that rant, you guys, but I know it was important. Someone needed to hear that. When you see this and you needed to hear that, let me know in the comments. Tag me so I can come back and be like, oh, that's why we got in all that brain shit. And then I want to hear if you activated your transformation chamber, because this is the game-changing shit. Every time you can see, the King of Death from the story in the Upanishads, one of my favorites. It's in, I'll link that same podcast. It's in there. So in that, the King of Death tells this kid that's out seeking the meaning of life, every single moment you have a choice. You have a choice of Preya, you have a choice of Shreya. Preya's the sexy, quick dopamine hit. She's the binging YouTube all day. She's the eating the candy bar, drinking the wine, she's like sexy bitch. And then Shreya, the other choice, is like not as sexy, right? She's like very plain Jane. And those healthy salads that look, it's good for you, but like that doesn't taste half as good as the pizza, right? Pizza Preya, salad Shreya, like easy way to think about it. Every single moment, he says, we have a choice of Preya or Shreya. And the whole ticket to life is choosing more Shreyas than Preya. Preya leads you toward death and despair. Shreya leads you toward enlightenment and joyful, long, healthy living. All right, so the more choices you can make throughout your day where you're choosing Shreya, where you're choosing the, and not as sexy, it's not a quick dopamine hit, but it's for your highest good. Why is all the shit that's for our highest good like not involving immediate dopamine hits? Can we get a rewire? You know? Like the things I put in my practice, like I enjoy them now, like meditating, journaling, planning. But like when I started like making those habits until I came out the other side of it, I really had to bribe myself. And this is where James Clear comes in. Any James Clear fans out there? I want to hear it. Drop it in. I was coaching with someone the other day and they're like, oh, I hear James Clear. And this is what I love about the women I work with. We know all the things. We read all the books. Now, how the hell do I put them into action, right? And that's where I come in. I feel like it's my superpower. Like I was put on this planet to help take all the books and help us put them into action. So I create like implementation experiences because what I experienced trying to coach people when I started 8 years ago, people just don't do the shit. However, if we all get in a room together and we're having fun and I create cool little tools to like help you throughout your week, right? That's when like implementation, you're doing it. I did this EFT workshop last week, you guys, and one of the women in the room, I'm like, okay, you guys, now you're going to tap. And we had everyone mute, you know, and I'm like, okay, now you're going to tap out your story. And she was like, then you told me I had to do it myself. And I was like, no. I'm like, and this is why, right? Like trying new things are hard. And guess what helps you evolve? Trying new things. All right. Like, so I try to create environments that are fun and that you come out the other side like, oh my God, and you have a new tool to take on the ride with you, right? And then the deeper work when you're ready to like really make that part of your life, that's what we do in the Me First Guide. And like, with like the base and the planner, like how do I get up an everyday 1% little thing to get to that next to move myself toward that next level. And the 1% is back to the auto plane adjustment. When a plane is on autopilot because of the curvature of the earth, it's adjusting 1% the whole time. Like every second or something, it's moving 1%. This is us, you guys. As you get to that goal, you're moving 1%. And you're going to hit some turbulence and you're going to hit some big ass clouds and maybe a bird even hits you. Like hopefully you're not crashing and burning totally, but you're going to have obstacles on your path. And how do you adjust? And how do you adjust without judgment, with putting on your little detective's hat and being like, what is that? And I see myself judging myself there. This is why we build alter egos, because it gives you that third party perspective. It gives you that place to look at yourself from that is whimsical, badass, and fun. And by the way, when you come build your alter ego with me, the more out there you can let it be, the more fun, magical, like blow it out you can be, I think the more successful you're going to be, because it immediately gives you that third party perspective. It helps you bridge the gap from your current self to your future self. It's really genius. This is why all the pro athletes have, not all of them, but a lot of them have alter egos. A lot of entertainers have alter egos. This is why this tool, like, we should be building alter egos in 5th grade. And by the way, they've done studies on that, right? It's called the Batman effect, where they had these grade school kids, like some of them even dress up like Batman and pretend they're Batman, and another group just be themselves. And the Batman group outperformed everyone by like 20%, some huge percentage in studies. And I was like, yeah, because you embody. When I first set out losing weight the first time, and I couldn't see myself at 160 pounds when I was over 3. I just couldn't even imagine it anymore, right? Like I just couldn't ever picture myself there. So I built Slayer, and she was kind of like Black Widow, like leather with a sword, and she was like a superhero, right? And it just became this like funny, what would Slayer do, right? And all these people were following me, and they're building alter egos. And we call them, what do we call them? Superheroes, future self stuff. And some people didn't identify with superheroes, right? Some people are a goddess, or like I've been through many reiterations. My Brookster alter ego, by the way, she's my CEO, right? And she's totally different than Slayer in the leather with the sword. Brooksters in like real pants with a button. That's my criteria, right? And then I had Namaslayer too. Like that was through my whole spiritual awakening. Namaslayer is very like in child's pose, like very like into uncovering, like having all these dark nights of the soul, cracking herself open, right? You can literally build an alter ego for everything. And that one just kind of evolved. I was like, and she was my light warrior, like slaying everything from this truth within me, right? From this something more. But I didn't start out unlocking the something more. That happened through all this, like starting to see my thoughts and oh my God, starting to learn how to build habits and meditation and things like tapping and, yoga. And I just think like, even for me, it'll vary every day, like there's certain things. And then you decide what you want your life to look like. Like you might not like yoga. You might like going and running or swimming every day or something, or maybe you want both like me, you know? So what I want to share with everybody too, because I know I titled this live and then I gotta get going, but is that, the scale is just data, and the faster you can manage your mind back to it's just data, it doesn't mean anything about me, and that you can get those thoughts that you're thinking about yourself, the sooner you can get those thoughts and see them, the shit thoughts, those, because it's gold. You want those thoughts. You don't want to ignore them or shove them. They're not going away. They're in there. And then you put them on your whole little limiting belief list and you start knocking that shit out. You tap it out. You write it out. You do a thought model. Like I got all the skills. I'm going to start dropping these videos. I'm like working on it. I'm working on it, you guys. I got a process. So follow along here because I'm going to start showing you all these skills. And then when you need help implementing, come do it with me, right? Because like, this is why everything I teach, I do for myself. Because they say the teacher becomes the student, 100% true. So every workshop I do, everything I'm setting up, I'm like, you know what I really need to dive back into this month are habits. Like, okay, I'm going to do the workshop on habits this month, right? And then I get in deeper. I have a new perspective and I'm like always cracking something new open. It's just phenomenal. I'm so love what I get to do, you guys. I can't even, it's crazy to me. I get to like do this for a living, like be on the ride with women losing, like my passion in life. Can your passion in life be losing? My passion in life is growing and creating a life beyond my wildest dreams, right? I am, I'm running out of battery on top of it. So I got to roll, but yeah, I am. Personally, I'm creating my nomadic adventure. I've got one more year of my kid in high school, and then I'm taking off again. I already did the RVing around the country. We did that together. She was like from when she was 8 to 11. And now I'm going to nomad around the world after next year. So this is us building the runway, and let's build it together. So if you're a midlife woman watching this, come join me in Midlife Badassery. And it's going to stop being free after this weekend. It's going to just a different entry point. So check the link, come join. It's worth every fucking cent. All right, slay you guys.